In the United States, 1 out of every 22,000 people are amputees. In Cambodia, 1 out of 236 share this same misfortune. Amputees in developing nations are often seen as a burden to society. There is 95% unemployment among amputees. Current prosthetics cost anywhere between $300 and $10,000 US. The average salary in a developing nation is only $300, which makes amputees in these countries stuck as far as not being able to work and not being able to afford a prosthetic leg. In June of 2011, a group of students from Utah Valley University under the direction of Julie Bagley visited Guatemala, one of these underdeveloped nations. Julie Bagley is the director of the International Student Abroad program at Utah Valley University, and with the assistance of BYU engineer Doug Wright, decided to do something about this great misfortune.
Not only did we have the privilege of serving in our community and at our campus, we then took our project to Guatemala, where we served 14 people and put a prosthetic on those in need.
When we fit the amputees and saw them walking on the leg for the first time, I was just overwhelmed by emotions.
We started one day in fitting all of our patients. Each one of us had our own patient, and we then took the next couple days and made our prosthetic, measured, cut, molded, melted, and we were ready for our patients to return on the 4th day. And they come in and we fit a prosthetic. We just rolled up our sleeves and went to work and had such an uplifting, tremendous experience.
Once the plastic is heated up sufficiently, then it goes on to the mold, and it is vacuum fitted to the mold so that it's a perfect fit. Once the plaster has all been taken out and has been modified, then it goes back to the clinical room where you meet Melvin and you put the leg on Melvin for the first time, and it fit perfectly just for him. Once that cast has been made, then you have to modify it. And this is the most important step out of everything there is in making a prosthetic, because this is where the skin or the human leg interacts with the prosthetic. If it doesn't fit just perfectly, then it's going to be very uncomfortable for that person to walk. That's one of the things that we like about this process, is that it can be adjusted in any country that you might be in, as long as you have a heat source and as long as you have several simple tools to be able to make those modifications.
Two Feet Prosthetics met up with a family of 3 prosthetists, Julio, Eddie, and Luki Estrada. Julio explains more about this issue.
The people that do not have the resources to buy a prosthesis simply do not get one. The government does not provide or help, and many times the families can't help either. When the communities try to help with money, the money is used elsewhere.
The prosthetics was the perfect scenario for our service. We had the privilege of taking 14 patients. One of those individuals was a little 11-year-old boy, Carlos Fernando, and he needed both. Carlos, 11-year-old Carlos, he was in a car accident and his father was driving. He was thrown from the car, and of course in Guatemala you have 3 lanes of traffic, but 6 lines to drive, but 6 lanes of traffic. And Carlos, being thrown out of the car, was in a lane, and the cars kept going and ran over both his feet. He did have a prosthetic, but it was unable to be immersed in water. So once we had the privilege of placing our prosthetics on Carlos, it made a difference, and he can now swim with his prosthetic.
There are people who are suffering. There are people who want to live a happy and normal life, but they can't. And because they don't have money, because they don't have the ability to buy a new leg, they don't have the ability to go spend $25,000 on the latest prosthetic that just came out. And so we can go and give them one of these legs that's relatively inexpensive, and hopefully give them a little bit of hope to get a job, a little bit of hope so they can go back and play, a little bit of hope so they can wake up the next morning and not have to go to the streets to beg, so they can go to work.
Although 2 Feet Prosthetics has been successful, we need your help. Please visit our website to find out how you can give of your time, resources, and donations. You can provide someone in the world the opportunity to walk again, a new chance in life, hope for the future, and a feeling of self-worth.
We can be found.